Shalom everyone. Sometimes there are words in the Torah that can only just literally translate it, because they have much deeper meaning. One of them is a word that appears in a parsha, Parshat Behar, and the word is Dror. Well, the literal translation of Dror is liberty. It appears on the Liberty Bell, proclaim liberty throughout the land, but it's much more than liberty. It appears only one in the Torah, as I said. And the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat is trying to analyze what that word means. And it appears in the context of an interesting discussion about one of the prohibited actions on Shabbat, prohibited melachot, and that's a melacha of hunting. One is not allowed to hunt any sort of an animal, biggest or the smallest. And what happens, that's a discussion in Gemara, if a bird enters your home? Can you close the door or the window? Is that regarded hunting or not? So there are actually two contradicting sources, and the Gemara is trying to reconcile the contradiction. And the Gemara says, whenever it says that this is not regarded as hunting, we are talking about tzipor dror. Again, dror, the concept of dror, it's a free bird that even when the bird is at home, it's not really hunted because it can fly all over the place and one cannot get a hold and cannot catch the bird. And the Gemara explains as follows, why is that the name of that bird is Dror, tzipor dror. And says the Gemara, Mipnei shedara bavait kefi shehidara basadeh. Let's try to understand the wording of the Gemara. Dara, ladur, in Hebrew is like lagur, like to dwell, like dira, an apartment. It's a dwelling place to live. That bird has a special trait, special ability. It has the ability ladur babayit kmo basadeh. It has the ability to live even when she's confined in a closed home, exactly the way she lives at the field outside. That's why even at home it's not trapped. The cook gives an amazing explanation with regard to the Torah. There's a saying of Chazal, "En lecha ben chorin ela mi she'osek betalmud Torah." The only free person is one who's occupied in Torah. Says Rav Kook, there might be many people who are occupying themselves with the Torah, but still they're not free. They feel confined. They feel that the Torah, in that sense, is closing on them. They feel suffocated. This is not freedom. Yes, in the Torah we have boundaries, we have restrictions, we have rules, but they're supposed to empower us. The only person who is free is, even if he or she are, in that sense, at home, they have the framework, restrictions. They're not in the field, they're not free, but they feel free. That's a true freedom. That you have the framework, but the freedom is something which is inside of you. I think we can take this idea of the draw, of the liberty of tzipor dror, to an experience we all had to go through. We all had to go through a long time period of lockdown, a month, 2 months. Some of us are still in that lockdown. It's very challenging, spending so many times at home. We all are used to go out. It's part of our daily routine. But what is true freedom? True freedom is something that does not depend on any external factor. Happiness, freedom is only something we can find from within. When the freedom is dependent on external factors, environmental conditions, when these are taken, then I'm not free. It's not an inner trait. It's something external. We can always try to search for that freedom, but we can always lose it because it is external. That is not true freedom. True freedom is like the bird. Tzipor dror. Shedara bavayit kefi shehidara basadeh. That even when I'm at home, even when I don't have the external factors giving me that freedom, I can find the inner resilience. Even when I'm vulnerable, I'm not breaking down. I can find the inner strength because it does not depend on any external factor. Shedara bavayit kefi shehidara basadeh. Even if I don't have my natural environmental conditions, I feel free. That's the idea of Dror. That has been our challenge for a long while. Being, in that sense, locked with ourselves, with our families. But that can also be an opportunity to look inside, to reflect, to stop escaping, to find who we truly are, our inner strength, our resilience, to find our true freedom and happiness that does not depend on any external factor. Bezat Hashem, please God, soon enough, all will be over. We'll begin to go back to our routine, daily routine. But something we have to take from this time period, that when we go out, let's make sure that this is not an escape. It's very easy to go out and escape from things we are afraid to deal with. It can be ourselves, challenges in our families. Let's make sure that before we go out to our freedom, we are able to find our inner freedom at home in that lockdown. Only if we can be inside the same way we are outside, authentic, compassionate, vulnerable, then we can be strong, resilient. That's our true freedom.